First race on tap here as we get set to kick off the first Saturday of Grand Circuit Race. Get the Red Mile. First of 4 divisions of the Stay Hungry Bluegrass here. Over $80,000 on the line. And Dave Brown with the betting here in the early stages. Not really surprising. You've got the Ohio Sire Stakes champion, undefeated Elver Hanover. You've got the Kentucky Sire Stakes champ, Catch the Fire, was just dominant in both the Red Mile performances. He's up there 3-5. Elver Hanover the second choice. And not much surprising here, at least in the early stages.
I actually think those odds might tighten up before they go behind the starting gate here. Catch the Fire, you know, most of the local fans watching the Red Mile, they'll remember that Kentucky Sire Stakes final, perhaps a little bit more than knowing about Elver Hanover and his dominance in Ohio. One of the two in here for Ron Burke, and again, we're going to speak with him a little bit later on this afternoon. One by Sweet Lou and one by Yankee Cruiser. So Elver, 7 for 7. He's gelded already for the Burke Brigade. Bridget, Jablonski, Malillo, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Purnell, and Libby. You and I both said on the pregame here that he did win the Ohio Breeders' Championship, first-time Lasix up at Delaware, Ohio, but perhaps it wasn't his best of those 7 wins. He was pretty much all out at the end, so maybe he needed the race. We'll get a little bit more info from Ron Burke later here. But Catch the Fire, I mean, that was some kind of performance. You talk about a big improvement and wake-up call. Sub 150, Mike Wilder, a big win for him as well. And the connections that we might not be all that familiar with, John Ackley and Charles Taylor.
Yeah, it's great to see them have success here. And Catch the Fire, Dave, he was really had some traffic trouble, 2 and 3 back as well. So this colt, I believe, is going to be even better in both of those efforts. He's just a tremendously talented set of Captain Treacherous. But everyone can see those two do jump off the page. There's no question about them. We're going to try and find maybe a bit of value here in the first race. I went to the 6 Put to Right in behind this pair. He's up there as just the 3rd choice at the moment. But here's a colt, Dave, that's outraced his odds every single start, 2 back. He was second at 44-1. Last time at that Kentucky Sire Stakes final, he rallied from an impossible spot. He was 109-1, but really finished with a full head of steam. It was a good 3rd place effort. I think this is a colt that may not be on the level as the top 2 favorites here, but certainly trending in the right direction.
He's been very good, and it's hard to believe he hasn't won a race yet. It'll only be a matter of time before he does that. The post could give him a little bit of a problem today. We'll see if Andy McCarthy can get him into the race. My long shot used was the 3 major bets, although I'm going to admit I'm not too happy with what I saw there in the post parade. Looks like he's full of himself today, grabbing on the bit a little bit hard there for Dexter Dunn and Mark Harder, but this horse has done nothing wrong since he hit the racetrack. Lots of good early speed. He can follow, he can pass. He'll end up in a spot right behind one or both of the favorites here. We will see if Dexter Dunn can get him to relax. Now, track records for everybody out there. The 2-year-old track record for a pacing colt is shared by Huntsville and down by the seaside, 149 flat back in 2016. And if Elver Hanover were to win, he's gelding. He's got a top 149 and 2, which was set 3 years ago by Dragnet Alert. So there's your track record alerts right here in the opener.
And those are not only the track records, the world records as well. At least equaled here at the Red Mile by some of those individuals you just mentioned. So we'll keep our eyes posted. What happens here, we've got 4 divisions for the 2-year-old colt and gelding pacers. This is your last chance to wager on this afternoon's first race. Little time remaining.